what's up, bro? How you doing?
Good, bro. How about you?
Hey, bro, I'm doing good, bro. You got your green screen up. It looks dope. Can't wait to see what you're gonna put on the back, man. Welcome to another episode of Foxing Around, man. I'm your host, Raymond Fox.
I'm your co-host, River Thomas.
Hey, man, we got another great episode here today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be joined by a very special guest in a short few minutes. Me and River have been excited about this all week, man. It's I don't even know how to put it into words, man. It's like when you see something happening in your childhood and you always remember that, and then it comes to fruition one day, and before you know it, you're interviewing people that you never would have thought. So it's a true honor to be able to speak to Keith Secola tonight. Like I said, he'll be in a short few minutes. What else is new, bro? What do we got popping off?
Shit, man. I don't know. Just school, bro. Same old. How about you?
Hey, bro, just trying to keep busy too. I'm out here in BC right now, and just keeping busy as much as I can. I thought, you know what? We'll wait. We're gonna do a giveaway at the end of the show. We'll do our normal giveaway of the $200 to any nonprofit or charity. So stick around for that and give us a call in a few minutes. Also, too, man. We will be doing the shoe giveaway tonight, not on this podcast, but like on another in a few hours. Because, bro, honest to God, you ever try doing a giveaway with like 400 indigenous names, bro? There's like 4 or 5 last names in there, bro. Like four big names. It ain't easy. So, yeah, bro. I didn't get all the names down. I got like 3/4 of the way. So we'll be getting to that shortly too, man. But I think it's time, bro. You ready to bring in our very special guest here?
Yeah, bro, for sure. Let's go.
Hey, man, you give him the intro, bro, because I know you're the hype man for this one, bro.
All right. Everybody's favorite uncle. Well, graduated with a degree in American Indian Studies, made the beautiful song Indian Cars, which is basically a Indian anthem. That was debuted on what's the show called again? What is it there? Oh man, how do I forget this?
Dances Me Outside.
Dance Me Outside, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. For real, man. No other than the Keith Secola.
Hey.
Hey, gang. Good
Hey.
day on Sunday.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us, Keith, man. We're obviously big fans of you and what you do, and it's really an honor just to be able to sit down and be able to have a conversation with you. I told you that in the meeting. I'll probably tell you a million more times, man. Somebody that I truly look up to, and somebody that's paved the way, man. So what have you been up to lately, man? Have you still been able to make music, or like have you been kind of living quiet since COVID hit and stuff?
Well, it's funny because it's almost a year ago since my last real gig was down in Florida at the Hard Rock during their Seminole Fair. And it was a week after the Super Bowl. And then I came home from Florida and I went up to Minnesota for maybe 3 or 4 weeks worth of dates. And I came home after a week, and that was it, like immediately I hit the ground and I just started just walking every day, just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna flatten my own curve, like, and kind of isolate and things like that, and kind of make the most of this time that we're going through.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been kind of like doing this, and I'm here in my home studio. You can see I got a bunch of my guitars around me and flutes and things, and I'm recording tracks. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. What guitar is your favorite?
Well, I've been playing this guitar lately. This has been like a little Spanish guitar. Yeah. And it's funny because I got it from a trade from an Indian car. That was a kind of an antique and $500. And so it kind of came that way. And it's a Spanish guitar, a Miro. Thank you, Gabrielle. And I got this one here. It's my Taylor 6-string. I've been playing it a long time too. I've had it maybe 25 years or more.
Oh,
and I like that one a lot. I even got my first guitar I got from Hibbing, Minnesota when I was 18 years old. I hitchhiked. I saved money all summer in painting houses, and I hitchhiked to a town called Hibbing, Minnesota, where Bob Dylan is from. And I saved up my money and I bought a Gibson Marauder and a little guitar amp. And I still have it. I should have taken it out for the interview, but it's still in my closet. And yeah. A Taylor, yeah, it's a Taylor. I don't know what kind it is, a 714 or something, or 714C. Somebody just asked. But, you know, like guitars are like things, they kind of pick you. Like, I wanted to buy a guitar, so I shopped around and said I was going to buy one. And then when I played this one, I liked it. And well, so it's all the other guitars. I got a favorite electric guitar. I'll show you. It's like a nice, I've been getting a lot of sounds. It's a Les Paul ripoff, but it's nice, heavy. Man. I got a bass guitar behind me. But I kind of, I'm not really like a guitar aficionado, like, you know, a collector or anything like that. But over the years, it's like songs, you know, you write one when you're in your 20s, you write a couple songs in your 20s, 30s, and then you collect them over the decades. You kind of got a few songs and you got a few guitars too.
Yeah.
Man, I want to know too, Keith, like you just said that guitars pick you, right? When you were first starting out, man, what was it like to, did you know right away that you wanted to make music, or was it a different path you saw yourself, or did you always know that, you know, you were going to make music?
I kind of, well, you know, you want to when you're a young man, you know, like you set yourself up so you can do things. Like, first of all, I had to get a guitar, even though my mom would buy rub and sale guitars when we were growing up as little kids. We'd have a bunch of guitars in our house, but no one really knew how to tune them or change strings. And so you'd have a 5-string guitar would be a 2-string guitar in a couple of months. And you'd have one or two of them from ramen sales, just cheap ones, but you'd kind of have fun in figuring out how to play like a note or tune. And then you'd watch your friends or people that played guitar. Almost everybody knows the chords to me and Bobby McGee on an Indian reservation or reserve across North America. So you can always go to somebody and say, hey, how do you play that chord, a D? And so I learned 2 chords. They're called D and A, the 2 chords of life, D and A. And that's where I kind of started from there.
Damn, man, that's awesome to know. So, like River had said too, like I don't know if a lot of people know, but you kind of took a different route, I guess you'd say, to a normal rock star life. You know what I mean? Because you actually decided to go to school, and that's something that we're doing right now, both being student athletes and just trying to find our path in the academics. But what was it like back then? Because, you know, I don't really, I thought it must have been a hard time, you know, to take something like American Indian Studies in the 70s and on both sides, you know, you had your friends from the res that were kind of laughing at you for going to school. And then you had once you got there, you know, the academic world that you know, doesn't respect us and our teachings. So what was that process like to get there? And once you were there?
Well, you hit a lot of good things there, like, especially like the process. A couple talking points along the way about the process. For instance, at the University of Minnesota, when they were teaching the Ojibwa language and the Lakota languages, there was no certification. No one could say, okay, you can speak Lakota or you can speak fluent Ojibwa. So the teachers were all fluent teachers, but they didn't get the respect. They would get less pay than a janitor, you know, because there was no acclamation or accreditation to what they're doing in American Indian Studies. So a lot of it was new ground, you know, like what are we going to teach? Even teaching the language at a major university, that was something special, I thought, you know, like we could go there and you know, like pick up on your language, tribal languages from real fluent speakers. It was really a wonderful, wonderful thing. And so all these things were kind of ironic. And then I remember we'd have like speakers when we were in student organization. We're called Oyate, or we're called the Anishinaabe Student Center or something like that. Always like a student organization. And we would bring in speakers, usually from the AIM, to speak during the springtime, and I become friends with a lot of these speakers, but they would really lambast the students for being out here learning the white man's ways. Why aren't we learning our own ways back on the reservations? But the irony was that our student organizations were paying their honorariums and were paying their plane tickets to come in to speak to us. And so you kind of would have to almost, we would just kind of grin a little bit, and rise to the higher ground, kind of know like things. It's like making music. It's all based on love and happiness, like knowledge is like that too. It ain't like stops you at a lower ground because someone wants this. You're bound to go for the light. And so that's what it always is. I always tell like students or anybody to, when they study like native spirituality, never let anybody get in the way between you and the creator. And so it's just like that in your quest for knowledge too. That quest for truth, like there might be stops and things, but don't let them stop you there. And so there was a lot of irony, a lot of a very complex, and a lot of Native students were very plural. We were very plural from different backgrounds of fluent speakings to urban Nietzsche's who didn't know anything about who we are as people, where we're going. But it seems like college was a sanctuary. It was a safe ground. When I went to the University of Colorado, for instance, it was a meeting ground for North American Indians from the North and South would meet, and the East and West. And so you'd meet tribes from the Dene and the Apaches and the Utes from meeting the Ottawa and Oneida and the Ojibwa kind of coming together. And college was kind of like that, where we kind of would form little bands, like in Minneapolis, we had a little gang of Indians would hang around, 10, 12 of us would go walk around together. And people would notice us, when we come to places, oh, I hope they're friendly or something like that. And we'd have fun with it a little bit, but we have fun hanging around too. Like here we are on the banks of the Mississippi. 100 years ago, our ancestors hung out here. And so like, it's just the folly of life. You see that things stay the same, even though they're changing. And education was like that too. A lot of irony, but there was an opportunity, a sense of you want to make the most of being here, because a lot of people couldn't be here. And so for me, it wasn't entitlement at all. It was a privilege, it was a process. I had to hustle. I didn't get my college paid for at all. I didn't have a scholarship or a tribal scholarship or anything. So I had to hustle. And that's, like there's a song called The Harder They Come, the Harder They Fall. It's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what was the anchor point that made you want to pursue post-secondary and even to get a degree in American Indian Studies? Like what, especially in the 70s when there was nobody like it, like what was the wake up call to that, or what was the process like? Was it immediately after high school, or did you wait a couple of years?
I think what it was like that was the only thing that was really starting to interest me. Like I didn't really want to study mathematics or science, maybe medicine or something. And I was into like pre-law, like in learning things. And that's a big awakening when you start to realize the bitterness. I guess I always say lead people gently to a bitter truth, the bitter truth of discovery, like the history of this country, for instance, like like when you start to wake up to things like that brutality of it all, how do you operate that in your own psyche without becoming angry or becoming aggressive or becoming like the oppressor? And
Mm-hmm.
so those were a lot of things that I think we had to overcome. The anguish and the anxiety that a lot of the social movements were going through from the 70s and still remnants of the 60s and the civil unrest, similar to what we're going through now. Um, and so I think those are things that you would be, as a student, you would kind of take sanctuary where you're at. Like I would take sanctuary when I would go and I'd study my book or something, read about
Mm-hmm.
history or find out about law, and taking language was humbling too. Like learning how to speak your language when you're an older kid and an older man too. Like that's a humbling thing.
Yeah, but I mean, well, first of all, you want to study medicine, but your music is medicine. I'll say that by itself. So there you go. You already gifted us with that. And you said like studying, you didn't want to be like the oppressor. You didn't want to turn to anger. What were some tools, and what did you do to not fall into that as you learned more about the histories of our people and what we went through? What kept you grounded and what allowed you to push through that while remaining like level-headed and calm and as intelligent as you are? Because even in our first couple minutes of speaking, you're a very intelligent, humble, sound man, and I can't wait to learn more.
Same.
Well, I remember I was at a powwow at the American Indian Center, and I was listening to drums. There were some good drums back then, going around, the Circlebacks drum and the Kingbird singers from the Minneapolis, and there were a lot of Lakota drums, some really good singers back in the 70s and the 80s, early 80s. And I remember I was at this powwow and I was carrying my guitar in my guitar case, and Elder came up to me and he told me about my guitar. He goes, I want you to treat your guitar like a drum. I want you to treat this guitar like a drum, and I didn't really know what he meant. I kind of did that night. And so from that point on, I did, like whenever I would bring my guitar with me, I would respect it in a lot, like the songs would come from that drum, that guitar. I think a guitar is a drum, like it has melodies and it has songs in it. Like you can play drum songs on it, like if you be my honey, I will be your sugar by your way. And so like you treat your guitar like a drum, and it's like a song catcher too. Like it catches songs, and it's like the flute too. I started playing the flute, and these things kind of would put you on the path. Like when things would knock you off a little bit, I would always find solitude in a song. I could sing a song, I could find solitude in that, even in the simple notes. And so those are kind of some things that would keep me on the path, like realizing that the guitar is like a drum. And I think for a Native man and woman, it's important for us to be physical, like nowadays, I say I try to appropriate the workload of our ancestors. Like it says that they at least walked 5 miles, 6 miles a day, and I looked on my step marker and it was like 6.5 today. And I walked out, it was kind of rainy and I enjoyed it. I walked out in the urban jungle and kind of put out my prayers out there in a very ironic way, right next to a freeway. How can you do that? Pray next to a tree, next to a freeway? Don't you got to be on a mountaintop alone I don't know. If you can't, how can. So I think those are things that we can do. We're like angel people. We have the power within us.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we start to realize them things, that helps you through the harder times, like times that students can go through, self-doubt and what am I studying? How does this apply to my life? How am I going to get some money? Like what am I, things like that, all the self things. But it's a time in your life when things are really great too, like I think those are important. So physicalness helped me, spirituality helped me, physical, the philosophy helped me just to have a real positive attitude, a real humble attitude, like I wasn't, when I was back then, I was just learning how to play guitar, like I couldn't play guitar smooth yet, you'd learn how to play like more jerky, but you'd learn style. And so it takes you a while, like you learn how to play. And so as a young man, I was still learning, still watching, still listening, still wanting, still having that hunger and that desire. And as an old man, I still do have that wanting and desire to play music. I'm trying to get a couple albums out here in the next year or two.
Yeah. Well, do you have a desire to play something for us right now? Because the little piece you played us like 5 minutes ago, that was beautiful, and I wanted more.
All right,
And
I'll play a medley. When I was talking, we'll go in the process. When I was taking American Indian Studies at the University of Minnesota, I was studying our language, my language, Ojibwe, and here's a couple of songs that I'll play for you from that era. Okay, I'll try to make it a medley. Okay, the first one I'll sing is about Zugipuna Guajing Nungum. It means it snows out today, tonight. Zugipun Guajing Nungum Bevani Nagama Niwi Nagan Ishka Gashka Dino Gizis Manado Gizis Sons Ina Gizo Wahao Gizis Bevono Ikwe Ingia Yawan Sigwan Ikwe Mashan Yiguanani no Chikwe, Yiguanani no Chikwe. And the other night, we had Joe Biden was elected president, and J-Lo sang this song. I wish you would have sung it in this language, Joe. Enishinabe, ki babaya, o ki wabandan, kake gigishe. Gamshkwa Wakoko Gashkadanane Yakin Gabi Oshitamagoyan O Winadakim O Wigadakim Midawima Gitchigamin Gamshkwa Wakoko Gashkadanane Yakin Gabi Oshitam Goyan. And when you translate it in Ojibwa, it means this land we belong to her, we belong to the land. And when I used to travel with the old Floyd Westerman, he was an old singer. He'd always come up and he would joke around with the people. He goes, let me translate that for you. And he goes, this land is my land. This land ain't your land. Get off of my land. Go find your own land. I could always tell how liberal the audiences were if they would laugh after that. Like I could tell, okay, I can go far with Indian history and talk about law and things and truth. And if they didn't laugh, I couldn't push it. I'd push it a little bit. But I would never want to make people feel uncomfortable. I like to try to make them a little bit uncomfortable, but like Floyd would always say, like be the Pied Piper, let them follow you. In his generation, they'd kick them in the shin with the truth. And so we got to take a little bit of each, a little bit of shin kicking and a little bit of Pied Piperism, and like blend the trail nowadays. But those are two songs that I learned when I was studying the Ojibwe language at the University of Minnesota. And so it's an example of how college, it prepared you even for a life in music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to know a little bit more about that, Keith, because you did also talk to a lot about like the AIM movement, and that was very big at the time in your area while you're going to school, and there's a lot of that. Does that ever influence your music a little bit, or like at the time was it influencing your music, and was it good or bad to be kind of in that era of time while you're trying to make music and go to school as well too?
Well, I think like the AIM era was kind of symbolic of protest music, like there was a lot of protest music, a lot of the blues music and a lot of the civil rights music. But then there was a specific Native American blues, where Peter, back then there were songwriters like Peter Lafarge. He wrote a song called Ira Hayes, and Johnny Cash he put a whole album out in 1962 around called Bitter Tears, um, all about the Native American songwriter Peter Lafarge, who wrote all these songs back in the late 50s. And there was activism like Buffy Sainte Marie was around there. There were Native activists around then, even before people went out to Alcatraz. There were takeovers, and 8 to 10 years before, there were Native people going out there. And so there's a lot of history of AIM. I know in Minneapolis, it was kind of like the birth of AIM, with patrols protecting our people at night, because of systemic racism and things like that. And so there was a lot of awareness, I think, and this protest movement kind of came out of that, and I came out of the tail end of it, like how to make people have fun too and be aware, how to make them dance and dance with love in their heart. And so those are kind of the movements of part of being who you are. As far as I was with a songwriter, like a lot of contemporary people, a songwriter that I would follow a lot was Bob Dylan, who was from the Iron Range where I grew up from. Other songwriters of the 60s, like I love the bands like The Doors and the Grateful Dead and bands like that.
Yeah, for sure. And so like just hearing you sing in your language, was that something that you learned at a later age, or were you always fluent in it as a child growing up, or did you know a little bit, or did you know a little?
You kind of put it all together, like all them things you hear a little bit. And then, as a singer songwriter, like no one was writing these songs where I could go and listen to them, like this is how it sounds. And so I would go into where a couple of my language teachers were Angela Northberg and Collins Oakgrove. And I would try out words on them, like how to get the endings of words right.
Mm-hmm.
Like how would you say it's December or something like that, or how would you say don't give up, or things like phrases like that. And so we're kind of piecing phrases that would fit good together in the songs, like you could say it this way or you could say it that way. And I would play a little bit and sing a little bit and say, that sounds easier to say. And so I would kind of piece them phonetically too, like learning how to phrase them on a guitar, because you got to be fluent on music too, to be able to apply that to the fluency into the language and things. And so I think songs are a great tool because I remember songs that I wrote 30 years ago, you know, in the language and that is a complicated endings and things. And so it's a great learning tool. And so many of our people are doing it nowadays, you know, like I heard the singer that came on before we got on live on the air, and it was just like a little 49 song chant, no words or anything, but such a great melody, man. And so many young people like you guys are preserving the culture, presenting the words, presenting formats and portals where our artists and our creators can put it out there.
Yeah, for sure. So you learned the language later in life, essentially, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, no, I just want to ask that and take that as a for our generation and our youth to know that you're a living example of that. It's never too late to learn your language, and that you can do this if you put your mind to it. And you did it. You made it so accessible to yourself by learning your language through songs and through music. And I feel like the youth just have to find their passion, and they can definitely learn their language. It's never too late, and you're an example of that.
Well, and no one should stand in front of you, like I said before, but you know, no one should stand in the way of you and the creator. Same thing between you and your culture, you know, like no elder, no grandparent, no aunt, no brother, no sister. I think if it's truth, you know, I think if we're trying to do things that would appropriate or misappropriate our culture, then certainly. But I think when we're trying to learn a simple thing of saying hello or please or thank you, you know, like that's accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Go ahead, River. What
I
you
was
got?
gonna say, bozo. Is that how you say hello in Ojibwe?
Bonjour, yeah, bonjour,
Bonjour. Okay, yeah,
yeah,
it's tanse in Cree.
yeah.
So, Keith, like, what is it like when? Okay, so
Uh,
you're done school now. You finish up school. Where do you go from there? Are you looking to get into, like, did you get into a little bit more of like a, I don't know, a regular job, I guess you'd call it, or was music
oh,
kind of where you
oh
found
yeah,
it after
yeah.
that?
I got a job, you know, like after I graduated. And I was playing in a band in northern Minnesota when I was going to college too, and making on weekends. You know, we would have a band and we'd play all over the North Country. But you know, like after college, you can't really take off and play music and support yourself or anything like that. Maybe if you lived really scraping it and things, and so college was a good place for me to go. And I got a job, you know, working at American Indian Resource Center in the Southwest, helping write grants and things like that. And I used my degree that I got to University of Minnesota. And I studied a lot of American Indian law. So I had a pre-law degree, and I knew a lot about laws. And, you know, it's ironic because in one of my songs, I call it the fry bread. You know, I make up things like, you know, a long time ago, fry bread was illegal. You couldn't eat or you couldn't speak fry bread, or you couldn't even ride a fry bread bicycle down Main Street. So the good people here at Fox Podcasts would have these illegal podcasts every week, and no one was turned away. And pretty soon the state wanted a piece of the fry bread, so they passed some fry bread laws, like the Fry Bread Removal Act and the Trail of Tears, the Trail of Grease, you know. And so I make up little things. Fry Bread Law 280, the Fry Bread Act, you know, and I spoof on the Indian history, the brutalness of it, and so I got a job, you know, after college. I worked about till 1992, and then I quit my day job just to play music, you know, full time, because I was playing it pretty good, playing, and it gets to a point where you gotta kind of jump off like that if you really want to try to do it. It's a little scary, you know, and because who's playing original American Indian music, you know, like there ain't like a genre. You're part of collecting that or creating it. Buffy St. Marie was out there. A few other bands were out there. And so you're a part of creating this, and just creating livelihood. And so going to college and working, it helped me prepare myself to hustle, because a musician makes money from three ways: from live performances, two is from merchandising. I have CDs, T-shirts, etc. And three is from publishing. Like tomorrow, I'm going to field a call from a museum who wants to use one of my songs in a display of theirs. And so, so little things like that. For me, it helped me publish my own music and be able to be part of the music business. A lot of artists realize that that's what it is. It's a music business. And so you got to take care of the business too. And it's hard to push yourself, like, oh, here I am, so good, I'm great, listen to me. As far as Native people, we're not really like that, not so much, like I'm kind of shy a little bit, or, but then at the same time, you can't be, you got to get out there and be assertive. And so 1992 came, and I've been living off of music since then, since now that, just doing music for a few, 30 years or more now.
Yeah. Did you grow up listening to a lot of Johnny Cash?
I remember I would listen to a lot of what the music was all on the radio, a lot of pop music,
Mhm.
and then my uncles would sing Elvis, and they would sing a little bit of Johnny Cash, and some Beatles stuff and things like that. And
Yeah.
I got to meet Johnny Cash one time at the 1996 at the Atlanta Olympic Games in Atlanta. And we sat down for a little while, and Johnny was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, for sure. No, I was just wondering because like he was a big advocate too for Native Americans. He even dropped a album in 1964 called Bitter Tears, Ballads of the American Indian, right? And like he had a lot of songs that he wrote for Native American people. So that's what I was wondering when you're talking about like you had your Buffy St. Marie's and everything, but like Johnny Cash was a big advocate. I also read that you were inducted into the Native American Music Hall of Fame alongside I believe Buffy St. Marie and Jimi Hendrix, correct? How long ago was that? I think 2009?
I'm not sure. I think that was when it was. Yeah, that was an honor, like, first of all, to be recognized by your people and things. And it was really a lot of fun too. Got to play some tunes out there. And the guy, Nookie Edwards, he was the guy who wrote that theme song for Hawaii Five-0. He was getting inducted, but he was a real deal. He was a guitar player. He was a real Nashville cat. And so it was really nice to meet him, and see someone who puts their whole life into playing music.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Keith. When you're going to make that switch, you decide that you want to do music full time. What is that like? Are you like afraid at that point, or are you just like, is it supreme belief in yourself, or a little bit of the both? Like, because I know some people, they can do a career change, but you almost, you lived in both for a while, and to jump into one after the other, I just wanted to know, what's that like, and were you ever scared or worried or that you couldn't do it?
Well, when I was about, I think 25, 26, I had to leave the Iron Range where I was from, northern Minnesota. And so like I made moves like that to put me into shape. I knew like where I wanted to be, closer to LA and closer to a music scene. And so I saved like only $100, and I hitchhiked with, I got a ride down to Albuquerque, New Mexico with a couple friends, and I got let off there and on the Route 66, and it was the day before Thanksgiving in 1983, and $100, and I had a guitar, and I had 10 pounds of wild rice and a bag full of dreams, and I got a job the next day playing at a little coffee shop, and just kind of started hustling, like, where am I going to sleep? I had a friend. I crashed at his house a little while. I got little odd jobs, like working for putting mud in bricks, working with Mexican crews in Albuquerque area. So yeah, it was a little scary. So that was the first process, weaning myself from the Iron Range and actually hitchhiking, like that's a little scary. Different times too. Like, I'm not saying you got to do this or that. Everybody got to go through their own rites of passage. And that's what it is, the rites of passage. Like when we were young men, we'd be put on a hill and give instructions. And now we got to kind of see where the sun shines and what hill is shining on to go to receive our instructions for life. And so I was down in Albuquerque, and it was a little scary. And I eventually I knew I met my wife Patricia McKinley from the Ute tribe. And that's where going to school you meet Native people from all over East, and so we made a home in Tempe, and I got a day job for a while, relying upon my college skills and things. But the whole time I kind of knew I wanted to play guitar. Like many a good song has been written on work. Like when you're working, getting paid, and like I'm thinking about guitar or something like that. And so it's a process. If you want to, you're in that position where you want to think about going for your music or your art, and you think you can. I think you're at a young enough age you should give it a shot, or you're ever going to resent that. Like, if you didn't try to do your art, because if I didn't try to do that, like 1992, I don't know. I don't think I would be here talking to you today. And so, like, you got to kind of have that belief, like that belief, and you got to get yourself centered a little bit, like if there's something that's getting you off center, like if you're drinking hard or smoking hard or doing this too much or that, and getting yourself unbalanced, you're not going to get ready when the waves hit you, they'll knock you down. You got to be able to get back up, and continue and believe in your dreams, believe in your songs. Give yourself a chance to like run parallel a while, work that day job a little bit so you can bring home some money and then feed people and help people. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go in the back room and play my guitar, okay? Something like that.
Yeah. Can you play us another song if you've got another one on hand, Keith? I'd love to hear something.
I want to play this one. I'll play a little bit of this one. These are some friends of mine from Ireland. I'm not afraid of anything in this world. Nothing you can throw at me that I haven't already heard. I'm just trying to write a decent melody, a song that I can sing in my own company. You are such a fool to worry like you do. I know it's tough, you can't get enough, but you don't really need now, baby. You got to get yourself together. You got stuck in a moment and you can't get out of it. Don't say that later will be better. Now you're stuck in a moment and you can't get out. I will not say colors that you bring, the night you fill with fireworks, they left you with nothing. I'm still enchanted by the light you bring to me. Through your eyes I see, through your ears I hear. You are such a fool look at you. I know it's tough, you can't get enough, but you don't really need now, baby. You got to get yourself together. You got stuck in a moment and you can't get out of it. Don't say that later will be better. Now you're stuck in a moment and you can't get out. And if the day runs through, and if your night won't fall, and if your wake comes through, it's a moment this time will pass. You got to get yourself together.
Damn, man. What the heck? Mr. Secola, man. Wow. That is a lot, man. Yeah, you're a very special. Oh, I don't think I can hear you. River, you're on mute right now. He's got himself muted real quick. Man, yeah, that was beautiful, man. Thank you for that. Holy.
I'm saying, bro, that's my favorite version by far, man.
Yeah,
I love that song, and you know, I it's kind of funny when you start believing in your dreams. Like, I quit my job in 1992, like, and I was believing, and then later on, U2 came to town and they invited me to their show to meet them guys backstage, and so I became friends with them ever since. You know, you start believing in your ideas and your dreams. You get a song out there, and so that's kind of like what happens. Like, I think when you start believing in good things happen to you. You know, same thing in your life. You know, like when bad things happen to you, your family, you kind of got to stop that. You know, stop the curse, kind of, and stop believing in them kind of things, and start believing in good things again, and stop it when it happens. You know. And I also wanted to play a flute song for you guys real quick too, okay?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, too bad you, River, too bad you couldn't put me a background on my background. Like, you know, if you had, you could put me out. I like to, when I'm doing on some, I got a background of the stars, and I like to play like my flute like I'm in the stars. Well, I'll play you a flute song. I'll put the volume up a little more.
My. Hey, that's so good, man. Thank you for that, man. Jeez. So where do you get like the inspiration to keep evolving like this, man? Because it seems like, you know, you're always learning new stuff, and you're always trying and being experimental with your music, and just, you know, you're forever picking up on new things. How does that How does that creative process go to always want to do more and try new things?
I think that's like you get to be pretty humble, like, and it starts as a young man, like you guys, in the way you inquire knowledge and things, and you don't get full, like you don't get full of yourself. And so you always have stuff where you can pour into, you become empty because you're not so full of yourself. Oh, like I can do this or that, and for me, now I'm a grandfather, and I'm having a fun time of my life, like with young people and with my own relatives and things like that. I worked hard to get here, like I was never really unpleasant. I was always a nice young guy. I always be thoughtful about people and try to be helpful for people and things. And mostly just the kindness was the guiding thing, because I seen the way people could be racist towards me, but I always was a good athlete and things. And so I knew, man, like, yeah, but you might be about 5 years older than me, but I could strike you out with a baseball, something like that.
Yeah. What kind of sports did you play growing up, Keith? We're big sports guys over here.
I was a baseball player, and we play a little hockey, in northern Minnesota. Nothing like you guys in Canada, though. Like nothing like you guys, because I would go over the border and be scared of you guys in Canada. Like a Minnesota Indian playing hockey. It doesn't happen, and so you get over in Canada, oh man, everybody skates and things. And so, yeah, of course you learn how to skate and have fun with it. We had fun in our high school, playing high school hockey and football and baseball. And, I got a little scholarship out of high school to play baseball in northern Hennepin in Minneapolis. And so that's how I kind of got off the range playing baseball and playing sports and things. And so it was also a saving grace, because I think, like for a lot of us athletes, we were misguided and things like that. And so it would be easy to fall in pits of alcoholism or drugs or things like that. And sports was something that would kind of keep you like, you wouldn't want to have hangovers if you were playing ball or something like that,
Yeah, for sure. River, you're on mute. Hold up. Give him a sec.
Okay, there we go. No, hey, it's so interesting you say that, because I was having that conversation with a friend of mine lately. Is how normalized it is to include alcohol at sporting events. How normalized it is to go play at a tournament and to show up that Saturday morning, that Sunday morning hungover. And that's all that the youth see even today. A lot of youth, like 16, 17, playing with these older guys, is alcohol is introduced to them in tournaments like almost immediately. It's like almost the point where it's like, oh, well, we want Saturday, whatever, we play Sunday morning, and they're like, well, we're gonna go out tonight, we're gonna drink. And it's so hard to come across sober athletes who play tournaments just by how normalized alcoholism is. And where I'm going with this, it's like it's interesting how you experience the same thing maybe 30 years ago and in a different region of the country. It just baffles me.
Yeah, it's almost like it's hard because there's peer pressure, like if you're the young athlete and don't want to drink, and your friends are wanting to drink, what can you do then? Like, I don't know, like blend in or something and pretend you're drinking or drink less, try to get out of there, but I can hear that, because I know like it messes up a lot of our good athletes,
Mm-hmm.
like, I know a good musician friend who played for, he skated for the Montreal Canadiens, and he drank in a native cat, and now he's playing music. But he was all the way there, like there.
Yeah. Me and River can relate to this a lot too. Like River on one side being the guy that has never drank or did drugs and stuff like that. And then me on the exact opposite. And I had a long history of, just substance abuse issues. And just like River said too, it's super normalized in sporting events and, res soccer and res hockey and res baseball and whatever res tourney you're going to, you have that story of those people, that could have made it, that are, the best player there, but they just didn't have the tools capable to stay sober at the time and, lose out on their potential and stuff. So yeah, honestly too, I'm kind of mind blown that we, we're from different parts of the world, the Turtle Island, and we're hearing the same stories, and these are through generations that are passed. Right. So it's, yeah, just interesting. Yeah, no doubt, and I think it will, man. I think become making it cool, to be sober and just doing your stuff wherever you want to, when you want to do it, and yeah, just keeping that idea that it's okay not to be that guy that shows up hungover the next day. It's good to come in good spirits and good energy and play your best and do your best for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all you can do is go by example. Like I know, like when you're in a good way and your drunk friends see your strong spirit like that, they like that, like they see, oh, he looks good this morning, like something about him that radiates and shines, and that's how we can be as good examples and say, this is a good way, this is really works. And we have so much talent too, like, like that we throw it away, like Tecumseh, even Tecumseh would talk about, I do a song by his on Tecumseh's words. I'll send it to you guys afterwards. It's a take that I have. Maybe you could play it sometime. But Tecumseh said, like, don't let firewater steal your vision. Like these words way back then, and so it's pretty interesting. And, like we don't want to be preachy either. I don't, like I never was like that, but I knew like for me, this worked better.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so is that tough on the road though? Like when because, you're playing in bars a lot, you're playing in, like different settings where, like same with sports, alcohol is always prevalent. And, there's a lot of things that go into music and the bar scene, right? They're almost hand in hand. Is that tough to stay that grounded while you're, trying to make it in the music industry?
Oh yeah. There's an old joke, there's the shortest joke in the world is, 3 musicians walk by a bar. But yeah, like that's a thing, and so many pitfalls, like at some point the music has to become the center. I'm not drinking, because I know a lot of cats that musicians got really good, but they just want to play cover tunes. They're, songs that would make people drink, and they could get comfortable, wailing on their guitar a little bit, having a couple drinks afterwards, playing a little bit more guitar, having a few more drinks, and it just become a drinking club, live music, playing cover tunes. And so I always want people to play their own original stuff, like reach for art and things. Because there's degrees. You could become a bar musician and just play like, I want to play the latest hits. And this is all. I just want to learn what's on the radio, what people are hearing, gregariousness, like where mediocrity resides that's where gregariousness is. And but then you can go to want to be a musician, like climb above, maybe you want to do original stuff, music. And so that became like, that became a lot where you maybe would become different ideas of why you're in a band, like, and sometimes musicians, they just want to, they just want groupies, or they just want drugs, or they want alcohol becomes more important than the music, and the music becomes secondary. And that's why you see so many fall off. you know, like they fall away from it. And I think it's important that we keep music at the center point of our quest and our journey. You know, like that old man said, you know, is you treat your guitar like a drum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that like to be able to, I guess, like it seems like the music's always the focal point, which is really important, but it's also like I feel like without writing songs like powwow songs or round dance songs or our indigenous music, you're writing them and incorporating them, and you're the first one to be able to kind of fusion that and mix it and do all that fun crazy stuff with it. Did you get all, and do you still pull a lot from drum groups to make that type of music?
I don't really, you know, like I was singing on a drum, so I didn't really never really like I could do a lot more of it, sample it, like I could work with the different powwow groups, and I worked with different singers from powwow songs, and I know different composers that I worked with, and it's pretty cool, you know. Like one lead singer he's the older man from Portland, Quilt Man. You know, he sings powwow style songs, and I'll just play like a song in a key, you know, like. Or like something like this, and Quilt will start singing in that key, you know, like, you know, so like you can start your lead in that same key that you are in as a guitar. And everything about music is pitch, you know, especially when we're combining cultural music like native drum music and guitar music. So like if the lead singers are singing a pitch, like whatever it could be, like so like you find out where the pitch is on the guitar, and then you can kind of like, that's how Indian Cars goes, is like this, is like but like I can play it with my fingers, watch. I've been riding in my Indian car, the pound of the wheels drumming in my brain. The dash is dusty, plates are expired. Please, Mr. Officer, let me explain. I got to make it to an online podcast. I'll be singing 49 down by the riverside, looking for sugar, riding in my Indian car. Hookah! I'll do the last verse more rock style. Got my T-bird on the dashboard, I ain't got no spare. A feather from an eagle, I ain't got no care. The road is empty in my bottle of desire. Daylight is breaking, the sun touches fire. I got to make another powwow tonight. I'll be singing 49 down by the riverside, looking for sugar, riding in my Indian car. Okay, everybody out there, let's rock together, okay? In the cosmic world, okay, ready? Yo, We're on a circuit of an Indian dream. We don't get old, just get younger. Flying down the highway, riding in our Indian car. Polka, hey, real quiet.
You're gonna have to give us a moment, Keith. I think we're both a little short for words, man. But
No, man, that's crazy, bro. Got me tearing up. Not even gonna lie, Keith. It's so crazy how I grew up listening to that, and like I love that song. Like I still listen to it at least once a week in my car while I'm driving, and just to go from being a little kid listening to that song to like growing up and actually speaking with you and having you like sing that to me, it's like the craziest thing ever, man. And like I cannot help but tear up. It's like, so I don't know, man. I just want to say thank you so much for that, man. I love that song. That was beautiful. I don't know, Ray, say something, bro. I'm lost for words.
yeah, I got the exact same feelings, man. Like I remember just being a kid, and even now, man. Like sometimes when you ever feel you're on a road trip somewhere long, you know, and you throw that song on, and it's just like it's like a blanket, dude. Like just a feeling of like warmth and security and just beautiful, man. I want to, you know what? We might as well dive into it, I guess, a little bit. What was the creative process of that song? Like how did that come to be? Did you just have it one day? Did you have it in the vault for a long time? Like.
No, well, you know, like it's one of them songs where you write and it takes you 20 years to learn how to play it, you know, like, because there was like that 49 part, like that was kind of a 49 melody that was around, you know, popular. There was different 49 melodies, like that one I played for you earlier, like, I'm from Minnesota, you know, one for my own, so I come here looking for you. So like the 49 songs, and the one I was used was a. So like, how do you play that, and then how do you put that to chords? There's only 2 chords to that part. Like a lot of times when you play it for musicians too, like a lot of non-Indian musicians, they don't get the changes. Like, where do you change? Like, where do you change? And so like, it goes like this. It goes, yo, so I'm just doing it. So you got to figure out like the chords, you know, like how do the chords fit into the progression, and then the story's telling, you know, just the story of I've been riding in my Indian car, but the second verse has got the key lyric in there. I got a sticker, it says Indian power. I stuck it on my bumper. It holds my car together. Like we all know the humor of that, you know, like how can a bumper sticker hold a car together? And so it's kind of like, in so many ways, what I hear good about what I like hearing when Native people call and say, that's our song, you know, this is our song. This belongs to us as Native people. We relate to it. We relate to the humor, because a lot of people don't get it, you know, and so we do. And so that's how that process started, just some pure rock and roll, you know. I got a punk version with my son that we recorded. It goes like this. I've been riding in my Indian car, in a pound of the wheel in my brain. But that shit doesn't even my pet to expire. You know, something like that. And then the folker versions, and so you kind of learn how to play it as a rock and roll song, you know, like, and so like that beat gets going, you know, like you can get the drummer going, he can spoof a little bit on that pow, pow, wow, 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 but then you just kind of hint towards it. You don't kind of go into that cliche, but just some really solid rock and roll beats and chords and things. And so you got the intersection of rock and roll and native storytelling. I always said, River and guys, it's the intersection of Minnehaha and Hiawatha. You know, it's a real love affair. Like they collide in that song. And so the song was, you know, like I remember hearing it. I went to a Nirvana concert and they had it playing before their show one time, and the Grateful Dead put it on before their shows from 93 to 95, and they would play in big concerts, you know, like 50,000 people would be there, and that song would be pumping on the air. When I was in Europe, one festival, the Roskilde Festival, I got to close the festival after David Bowie, and there were 90,000 people, and we sang that song together. Not David Bowie and I, but after he was done playing. And I remember Freddie Fender getting to play that with him one time, a long time ago too. And so it brings you, you know, like they say, a good song brings you far, you know, and it also brings you home too. For me, it brought me home.
Yeah, like that's the thing too, I guess, is that, you know, I always wondered, because I was like, you know, do you ever get old of playing it, sad of playing it, you know, or is it just something that you know that it's for everyone, you know, like I love how you said that. Yeah.
I know what you mean. You become more like a public servant too, you know, like you play this song because people want to hear it and dance to it. And I have a lot of fun. Like when I play with my rock band, we might do it rock style one day. I mean, one time at night, and then so make the audience have fun. We do it like we call it Electric 49, like. You know, like you get the whole thing and everybody's going around dance, you know. I've been riding in my Indian car, the pound of the wheel drumming in my brain. My dash is dusty, so you can have a fun way, you know, like where you're having some hand drum singers on the chorus. Oh, hey, hey, and the band is just boom, 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 and then the guitar player could be going. You know, so you could have a lot of things going on, like a real celebration.
Yeah, no doubt. I
like to do that when I play live, you know, so that makes it like I don't do it twice the same way. I don't really like to do that, you know, like I don't have a set list when I play. Like I know the songs I want to play, but I don't like to like say, oh, we're going to start off with Indian Cars, we're going to end up with Fry Bread. But I like to kind of like let each concert be its own.
Yeah, that's super cool too. I never looked at it like that, but to be able to come into a space like that and just not wing it, but, you know, just let it feel you instead of you feel, you know, you trying to feel it out. Yeah, let it feel you.
Yeah, you become more of like a jazz musician or you know, like playing what you're dealt with, you know, like. Sometimes, you know, like if you're a rock musician, maybe people want to hear country music or something like that, and give them a couple of country songs and then lean them over to the rock or something like that, you know? Yeah,
for sure. One thing I did want to touch on too, briefly is, man, how do you keep in shape, Keith? This is insane, man. I 6 miles in one day, dude. Like, what are you doing? How does it make you like how do you get in that process of like running? And is it linked at all with your music, or is it separate from that? Like, is it your escape from music, or are they kind of intertwined?
You know what I like to do? Part of my hobby too, and my son, he's an artist from San Francisco, Keith Jr. You could follow him on Instagram and Facebook. But him and I've been climbing and doing a lot of desert hiking, climbing the mountains out there. Not too dangerous or nothing, but like, not maybe like a little bouldering and things like that, and a little bit of climbing and things, without ropes or anything, but not dangerous, but just strenuous, arduous, hard, like, and that helps. And I just do back porch calisthenics, like sit-ups and push-ups and things like that 3 times a week, and try to work out an hour at that, and then walk a couple hours a day. And it's very easy, walk or run, like however you. And now I'm 63, and it feels like you guys are in good shape too. I can tell you guys got to keep doing that, like that's why I love to see young people in shape like that, and go hiking with them and that, and say, hey, carry this backpack for me. Be the old man.
Yeah, for sure. No, we got to go hike together sometime, Keith, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, like, what is the day in the life of Keith Secola, like from wake up to like bedtime? Are you one of those organized guys, or else you just go?
No, not really. I kind of like, what I've been like to do. I like to get up and say my prayers right away in quiet solitude. I call it like under a blanket or under stars, and say my prayers in the darkness and bring them out to the day. And it's a very humble thing, praying with water, just saying like thank you for, just like a very simple thing in our Cree and Ojibwa way is to pray with the water, the life, the very first ceremony, to take a drink and say thank you, like that. And then bring out the tobacco, and then I love my coffee in the morning, and just watch the sunrise. Like I sit at I could be in a little shack, a Jippo shack in North Woods, or I could be in an apartment in Phoenix, Arizona, or a house in Tempe. But just sit there and watch the day come up, and drink some coffee, play a little guitar, think about music. Sometimes play a couple songs, sometimes listen to songs, read things. And then I'll start my day, whether or not to walk or do my exercise right away or something. But it's always I'm working on my music. Like at least in the afternoon, I'll go into my home studio and follow up on some business contacts, and maybe do a little recording or something like that. I say life is centered around lowlights these days instead of highlights. Like lowlights of tonight we had good pulled pork sandwich for supper, and potato salad, kind of. So we're very, like we get into cooking. Our family gets into cooking and now eating healthy and well, and trying to drink a lot of water and stay hydrated and things like that. And so very simple. And tonight, I was very looking forward to coming on here, like really looking forward to this. And you have these little highlights and lowlights that you keep yourself humble, and from going crazy, like you got to kind of keep connected, get a little exercise, get a little bit of thought, give your family a little bit of space, a little bit of room. We all need a little bit of understanding. I think, even ourselves, it's very hard not to become absorbed into what we're going through. And we don't got too much longer. I'd say another good half a year, maybe three hard months, of really locking down and then gradually getting out. And I think things will get better, but they're not going to get better until we really focus on that. And so a typical day is just like that, very humble, like everybody else is, like what are we going to do today to help us get us through? How are we going to do it? So by doing simple things with music, with family, with exercise and eating well and nutrition. Those kind of little things like that will get us through in our prayers and the ceremonies.
Hit it right on the head, man. That's a beautiful day, Keith. I gotta get a little bit more involved in that. Oh, River, you got a little bit of a static coming up. Hold up. Yeah. Hold up. I'll see if. But yeah, man. Oh yeah, my dad had a question for you today. This morning, I was actually on his program. This morning, he wanted to know, like, did you ever end up running into? He played John Trudell, Crazy Horse, on his program this morning for his radio show. He's wondering if you had any run-ins with any of the big names in the AIM movement, like that. Russell Means or John Trudell or any of those folks.
Well, like Floyd would stay at my house a lot, and Charlie Hill would come through, and I knew Russell. John and I were pretty close friends. Like one time we and John were in Florida, and I was playing some Bob Dylan for him on a Highway 61 Revisited. And, I said, John, he liked the album a lot, and we were hanging around together, and John comes over to me. You know how he says so many good things to people. The most thing I remember John Trudell ever said to me, he goes, Keith, you know what? I don't have many friends, but you're one of my friends. And John is really shy, And so, but he liked hanging around with me because we were all about music, man. We'd be playing music. People would be coming over to where we were at and having a little bit of fun, and we would always have our guitars and that. And so I knew Russell Means, and I knew Dennis Banks was a friend, where I grew up in northern Minnesota. I grew up around his older sister, his older sister, and Dennis was Anishinaabe from Nashwauk, from about 30 miles from where I was from, or East Lake. And so I knew a lot of the Amers, the Clyde Belcourt, Dolores Vernon, and some of the ones that passed. Yeah, so tell your dad I know all them guys.
Hey, for sure. I'll do that. I think hold up 1 second. River, you want to check out your mic real fast and see if it's coming in?
It's better.
No, it's still got maybe try to replug it in, man. I'll give you a minute. But Keith, so when you're doing your business stuff, you still got some no good. You still got merchandise available for people to purchase out there, and how would they get into contact with you? I know we had a question about.
I know, like Secola.com, they have. I do have merchandise. I got some things, and I know I got the links up to. I have a little record label I work with, Don Giovanti, and all my CDs can be bought there, vinyl, and some Indian Cars t-shirts and things. And then at Secola.com, you can order things off of there too.
Cool.
And I know when you buy things CD Baby and all the musical platforms, they're set up there.
Oh, okay, good. So proceeds do go to you. That's really good. Man, I'm gonna have to get vinyl. I just I got my girlfriend a vinyl for Christmas, and I actually been using it more than her. So I'll definitely be purchasing one of your vinyls, man, and checking it out.
I got it in here. Let me see.
Is it still bad?
No, it's good.
I just want to show you this. This is only I have this in vinyl. It's like the Indian Cars.
Hey, all right. I'm gonna hit you up for one of those, Keith. I gotta definitely.
Somebody put a meme in there that Bernie in there, and it's like on Facebook now, or on it's pretty popular.
Yeah, no, I saw. There you go. Look, he has the meme.
Look it up, you guys.
Yeah. He's got the meat. So people will be putting in a few orders, it sounds like here, man. Support Mr. Secola, man. He's an awesome
and then
awesome guy.
Also, the Fox Around. This is great what you guys are doing, and like what Solomon and I have done with Native Americana, kind of the similar thing where I've done interviews and interviewed people. So we all support each other.
Yeah. No, we forgot to talk about that. You do a podcast too, as well, man. What's that been like to sit on the other side of this and do kind of what we're doing? Has it been an enjoyable experience?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. So like for me to come on your show is very you got to be able to reciprocate. Like be willing to cross promo and promote other people, and we're all kind of in this together. We're all kind of like working together. So my podcast is Native Americana, and I've done the same thing where I've interviewed people in the music industry and some of the stories. But a lot of what I've had was interactions with them as a producer, maybe producing a song, and so we will play some of that music. And so it's just another spoke in the wheel. And so I'm very proud of that work, and we're going to do more. And we have some of it couched, and it's going to be distributed on American Indian Radio as well.
Wow, man, that's awesome. Congrats on that, man. And we'll definitely be tuning in. Obviously, we know Solomon too, and we've tuned into your podcast and seen the great work that you do, man. It's really cool to watch and to see happen. What else, man? There was something else, man. I have a question and I can't remember it. I'm trying to pull it out, man.
I just want to know, what do you have while you're thinking, Ray?
Yeah.
What do you have in the works right now? What do we have to look forward coming from Keith Secola next, whether it be music, anything?
Okay. Well, I got a flute album coming out within a month. It'll be on my Don Giovanni label that I work with, and it's called Portals, and it's like native flute, but a lot with guitar, and I put beats to it, and I played my bass a little bit, and a little bit of really neat sounding meditative music and things. And so I have that out. I'm part of a friend of mine, Dave Huckfeld, put out an album called Room Enough, Time Enough. I'm part of that production. And I'm working for a couple releases I'm going to release next year on 2/22/22, February 22nd, 22, rock album called Shaking Ground. Maybe I'll have a couple singles released of it by then, but I've been just pushing hard, and I continue to do what I'm doing.
Hey, my man, I got the question now. I figured it out. So, did the remix of the song "Indian Car"? Who did it? The Halushi Nation, I believe they're called. They turned it into like a EDM type song. What was your thoughts on that, and like your feelings when it gets remixed into like a house / dance music?
No, I think that's pretty cool. Like I'm always really like. I'm always like I like the evolution of art. I like remnants of it, pictures of it, and as an artist, you write a song, you give it to the universe and to creation. It isn't yours to hold anymore. So here it is, and as long as people copyright, and give me the writing credit and things, and if it's a commercial release, then I publish the song so I can arrange a public synchronization license and things like that. And so I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, this has been amazing, Keith, man. I can't thank you enough for giving us a space and to be able to communicate with you and talk and just be in your presence, man. Your music is so special. How we end our podcast usually is what we like to do is we like to put the guest up, and we'll put you on the main screen. If you got a message, if you want to play a song, if you want to do both, just have a few minutes with the guests that are tuned in, and just whatever you want to say. And then don't leave yet, because we want to come back and thank you again. So I'll put you up on the main screen here for a minute.
All right. Here's the song I've been recording. I'll play a little bit of it. And it's called Throwing Prayers Over the Edge of Time. And there's a place that the the Zuni Indians or the Pueblo Indians, they practice. They after a ceremony, they'll put their prayer sticks off a cliff, and we call it the edge of time, or I do. And so this is called throwing prayers over the edge of time. I'll just play a couple verses of it because I want to get to the throwing prayers over the edge of time. I've been down this road before. I'll be down more, my friend. Walk with me for a while. Let me hear you laugh, feel your smile. Talk to me, tell me what you see. Whisper secrets from the other side. Show to me, don't try to hide. Wait for me when I arrive. This dream is our life. Come to me if you are weary, down on your luck, you need a friend. I'll walk with you one more mile, be there for you till the end. Talk to me, tell me what you see. Whisper secrets from the other side. Show to me, don't try to hide. Wait for me when I arrive. This dream is our life. This dream is our life. Come with me, we'll throw our prayers over the edge of time. That's my message, throw your prayers over the edge of time into eternity for your ancestors and for your future.
Ray's muted. You're muted, Ray. It's your turn.
All right. Hello. There we go. Mr. Secola, man. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time here, man. And just to know, your creative process and who you are as a person and just the humble beginnings and the humble man you are now, man. I was a fan, man, but you got an even bigger fan now, man. And thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your music and your life story and just everything, man. I'm really blown away by how well this went and how awesome you are, man. You're such a great dude, and I hope we could do this again. I'm gonna let River jump in here. Hopefully his mic's not too scratchy.
Is it scratchy?
You're good, brother.
Oh wow. Yeah, man. No, I just want to say thank you again, Keith, for giving us the time and allowing us to speak with you and reciprocating the energy. You were a excellent guest to have on tonight. You're very well spoken. You're very smart. And one thing that I like about you and that I learned from you is despite age, you're always growing and you're always learning and you're always open to new things. And one thing that stuck with me, you said, is how you want to help out the youth and how you believe in the youth and that you want to be a role model to them and how you agree that music is always evolving. And it that shows me that you are very open-minded, and I yeah, I just want to thank you so much, and it's an honor. It truly is.
All right, Keith. Thank you so much again,
All right.
man. We're gonna let you go. Much love, brother.
Okay, and we'll be back as a guest again, okay? Foxy
Yes.
around. Great
Yeah.
audience too, man. Love your audience. Thank you, everybody out there. Miigwech.
Hey, hi, Keith. Thank you. Damn, man, that was crazy, bro. I can't even put into words how amazing that was, bro. That was why we do it. You know what I mean? That's exactly why we do this thing, bro. That was special. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, man. I don't know, bro. It's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, bro. Shit's crazy. Hey, you wanna give some money away, River? I feel like giving some money away.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not ours to begin with. Well, it is.
Yeah. Well, it's technically not our money, but it's somebody's money. We're gonna tell you about whose money it is, man. It's Cleanest Way. They sponsor our episodes, man. They're a great company. If you need duct and furnace cleaning anywhere in the Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba areas, they service all of those places, and they're good people that you want to be around, man. They have great prices. They're doing great work. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say much more than that, man. Please, if you got any and they got some new stuff coming. Actually, they're going to be releasing some new machinery here pretty soon that me and River are actually excited about too. So yeah, I can much love to Shannon and Dave out there at Cleanest Way. We'll drop the link in the comments to do that. So
Yeah, they're based out of Regina, indigenous owned company. That's an important thing, and they help indigenous people, especially indigenous housing, and which is so important because I don't want to live in a moldy house.
word, nobody does, bro. Yeah, let's see if we get a call. If not, we might have to give away this money on Instagram. But we'll give it away regardless.
Bottom there,
Yeah,
306-481-4499.
we'll give somebody about 2 minutes, and if nobody calls, we'll go do it on Instagram. It's just $200 to a charity or nonprofit that we can donate money to for this week from ourselves and our sponsors at Cleanest Way, man.
Yeah. And we are not e-transferring your cousin named Charity.
Yeah, we're not e-transferring you to grip a bottle. Just some res humor there. What else, bro? Oh yeah, so our guest next Sunday, man. Finally, is all I can say.
Finally, man.
Finally, for goodness sake, we finally got Mr. Solomon Trimble coming through, man, and
the Twilight Wolf
himself, filmmaker, actor, activist, super smart, kind of a catfish though. Look at that. We got a phone number. Here we go. Hello, how's it going?
Hello, we're calling about your giveaway.
Yeah. So it's $200 to any charity or giveaway or nonprofit of your choice. You got a charity for us, man?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Can I ask who's calling first?
Jason Horse from Thunderchild.
Hey, there we go. Jason Horse from Thunderchild, man. Thank you for giving us a call, bro. Let's what's your charity, man, and what's it about? How come you're gonna pick this charity?
I want veteran charity because of my grandpa and my cousins.
Nice, man. So you want us to? I'm pretty sure there's a First Nations Veterans Association in Saskatchewan. River can tell us a little bit more about it. But
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're gonna donate $200 there this week, man, and that was from Jason and his Jason Horse, his grandfather and his cousin, both serving members of the military.
Horse did World War II and the Korean War. Crystal Patty, Iraq War. I had another cousin that died from an IED, Robert McCoy Wasis.
All right, man. That sounds like a charity close to your heart, man. And we'd be more than willing to donate the money there for this week, man. And I just want to say thank you for calling in. And if you get a hold of your family members or you speak to them in the next little bit, just tell them that we thank them for their service too, as well.
Oh, geez, I will. Thanks.
Hey, all right, man.
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Hey, much love, brother. We will. Thank you so much. We'll
keep
keep in
watching.
contact. Hey, thank you, brother. All right, I'm gonna let you go now.
Okay.
All right, peace.
Bro,
Hey, that was dope.
man, on top of that, I just want to say thank you to Kelby Gopher, who gave us a $40 donation mid-show, man, for no reason. He just said, "What's your email? I want to give a donation," and he just sent us $40. Like, that's thanks, man. That means so much, bro.
Oh, my ring light came down. My camera's a little. This is how you know we got to go, bro. I'm way too hungry. I haven't ate yet. Hashtag bring Ash home. If you don't know what it is, check it out on Facebook. They got a Facebook page, Auction for Ash. Give it a look, man. Bring Ash home. With that, I think we're ready to just about wrap this thing up, bro. Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna keep doing it, bro. Keep making it happen. Keep enjoying ourselves. We got merch coming pretty soon, and it is amazing.
Should we just tell him?
Yeah, we can. I guess who's stuck around, man. Go ahead.
To all the loyal people, we got some Foxing Around / champion merch dropping. It's a Foxing Around champion collab going on. We got Foxing Around logos on champion hoodies. We'll be getting those released here in the next couple weeks. I'm pretty sure they're being made right now, right?
Yeah. We should have them ready to go in about 2 weeks or so. Like I said, once again, I'm gonna drop the name to Cleanest Ways out of central. I think they're well, no, that'd be like south. Yeah, southern Saskatchewan. They're doing a lot of great work, and yeah, we would like them to send them your business, man. Give them some love, but yeah, bro. I think I'm about ready, bro. I'm starving, so thank you for joining me. All right, bro. Well, you know what? I'm gonna finish this off like my dad would. My dad has this saying on his radio program, and it goes, "If the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we'll be back here again next Sunday night, man." So I'll see you guys then. Much love. Thank you, River. You can say bye.
Keyword of the day, hi means thank you. I just want to thank everybody, and yeah, much love. Peace out.
Peace.